It's a chilly night. You're curled up on the couch, binge-watching your favorite show, and you grab that soft, fuzzy throw blanket. You look over at your dog, snoozing away, and think, "Aw, Buddy looks a little cold." So you gently drape the blanket over them, expecting that cinematic moment of pure puppy gratitude. But instead, they let out a dramatic huff, stand up, shake the blanket off like it's made of lava, and march to the other side of the room. Or maybe you have the other kind of dog. The one you can't even find half the time because they've essentially built a bunker inside your bed sheets. You sit down, hear a squeak, and realize you almost sat on your sleeping pup. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? Why do some dogs act like a blanket is a warm hug from heaven while others treat it like a prison sentence? Is it just a personality quirk? Or is there something deeper, maybe even genetic, going on here? Today, we are getting to the bottom of the great blanket debate. Welcome back to the channel, guys. If you're new here, we're all about helping you understand the weird, wonderful, and sometimes confusing things our pets do, using a mix of science and a whole lot of love. Here's the thing about dogs and blankets. It's rarely just about liking it. It's actually a complex mix of their breed history, their current anxiety levels, and how their specific body regulates heat. We tend to project our own feelings onto our dogs. We feel cold, so we assume they feel cold. We love the weight of a comforter, so we figure they must love it too. But your dog's relationship with being covered up tells you a massive amount about their health and their instincts. In this video, we're going to break down the science of why some dogs are born burrowers. We'll look at the subtle body language signs that tell you if your dog is actually enjoying that tuck-in or just tolerating it to be polite. Plus, I'm going to give you some crucial safety tips because, and I can't stress this enough, there are some blankets you should never use on a dog. By the end of this, you'll know exactly how to set up the perfect sleep sanctuary for your best friend. Let's jump in. All right, let's talk science. Why do some dogs practically demand to be swaddled? First, we have to look at the ancestral denning instinct. Even though your golden doodle, Luna, sleeps on a memory foam mattress, she still has a little bit of wolf in her DNA. In the wild, canines are den animals. They are born in small, dark, enclosed spaces. This is their first experience of safety. Being covered or enclosed triggers a primal sense of security. When a dog burrows under a blanket, they aren't just trying to get warm, they are recreating that den. It creates a barrier between them and the world, reducing sensory input. It's quiet, it's dark, and it's protected on all sides. But for some breeds, this goes way beyond just feeling safe. It's literally what they were built to do. If you own a terrier, a dachshund, or a beagle, you probably know what I'm talking about. These breeds were developed to hunt vermin in tunnels. They are genetically wired to feel comfortable in tight, dark, enclosed spaces. When a dachshund dives under your duvet, their brain is flooding with feel-good chemicals because they are in their natural element. They aren't stuck, they're home. There's also a psychological component here called deep pressure therapy. You know how weighted blankets have become huge for humans with anxiety? The concept is that gentle, constant pressure on the body releases serotonin and dopamine while lowering cortisol, the stress hormone. Well, it works the same way for our dogs. For a nervous pup, maybe a rescue who's a bit skittish or a dog with noise phobias, a heavy blanket acts like a thunder shirt. The weight provides a calming sensation that tells their nervous system to stand down. And finally, we can't ignore the obvious: body fat and fur. Think about a greyhound, a whippet, or a pit bull. They have very short hair and very little body fat. These guys lose body heat incredibly fast. For them, a blanket isn't a luxury, it's a survival tool. They seek out covers because they are physically uncomfortable without them. On the flip side, think about a Great Pyrenees or a husky. They are wearing a double coat designed to withstand sub-zero temperatures. Putting a thick fleece blanket on a husky is like you wearing a parka in a sauna. They don't hate the blanket because they're grumpy. They hate it because they are overheating. So the why is a trifecta. It's their history as den animals, their psychological need for security, and their physical ability to stay warm. Now, this is where it gets tricky. We humans are great at misinterpreting our dogs. Just because your dog doesn't growl or run away when you cover them doesn't mean they are enjoying it. Dogs are incredibly patient with us. They tolerate a lot of our nonsense because they love us. So, how do you tell the difference between "thanks, Mom" and "please stop"? The deep sigh. This is the gold standard. You put the blanket on, they circle once or twice, flop down, and let out a long, heavy exhale through their nose. That is the sound of total relaxation. The nesting behavior. If you see your dog pawing at the blanket, bunching it up, or using their nose to flip it over themselves, that is a clear green light. They are actively trying to use the tool you gave them. Staying put. This sounds obvious, but if you cover them and they stay in that exact position for 20 minutes or more, they are into it. If they are too hot or feel trapped, they will usually move within the first 2 minutes. The freeze. This is a big one. If you drape a blanket over your dog and they suddenly go perfectly still and stiff, that is not relaxation. That is anxiety. They are freezing because they aren't sure what to do. Whale eye. Look at their eyes. If they are looking up at you without moving their head and you can see the whites of their eyes, the sclera, they are stressed. They feel trapped. The shake-off. If they stand up and shake their whole body the second you take your hand away, they are literally shaking off the stress of that interaction. Panting. If your dog is under a blanket and you hear panting, get them out immediately. Dogs can't sweat like we can. They pant to cool down. If they are panting under covers, they are overheating, and it can get dangerous quickly. Pay close attention to these cues tonight. You might be surprised to find that the dog you thought loved blankets is actually just being a good sport. Okay, so you figured out your dog might be a blanket guy. How do we optimize this safely and comfortably? Here are 3 tips to upgrade your dog's sleep game. Tip number 1. The cave setup. If you have a burrower, like a dachshund or a terrier, regular flat dog beds might be frustrating for them because they have to work too hard to get covered. Try creating a permanent cave. You can actually buy beds with attached hoods, but you can also DIY this. Take a structured blanket, something slightly stiffer like a quilt rather than a flimsy sheet, and drape it so it creates a tent effect. This allows them to enter and exit without feeling like the blanket is collapsing on them and trapping them. Tip number 2. The material matters. Not all blankets are created equal. For dogs with thin coats, the shivering cheese and greyhounds, look for Sherpa or fleece. These materials trap body heat efficiently. However, if you have a dog that likes the weight of a blanket but overheats easily, like a golden retriever who just wants anxiety relief, look for cotton or bamboo weaves. These are breathable. They provide that feeling of being covered without turning the bed into an oven. Tip number 3. The taco test. This is a fun little test to see how much coverage your dog actually wants. Lay a blanket flat on the floor or couch. Encourage your dog to lie on it. Then, fold just one corner over their back. Do they lean into it? Do they nudge for more? If they lean in, you can fold it over like a taco. If they pull away, stop. This lets the dog dictate the level of coverage. Some dogs only want their back covered, but need their feet free to feel safe. Others want the full burrito. Let them lead the dance. Before we wrap this up, we have to touch on safety. I want your pups to be cozy, but I also want them to be safe. Here are the major mistakes I see owners making. Mistake number 1. Electric blankets. Please be extremely careful with human electric blankets. Dogs explore the world with their mouths. One boredom chew on a live wire can be fatal. Also, older dogs or dogs with arthritis might not have the sensation or mobility to move away if the blanket gets too hot, leading to thermal burns. If you need heat, use a pet-specific heating pad that has a chew-resistant cord and a shut-off timer, or a self-warming bed that reflects their own body heat. Mistake number 2. The weighted blanket trap. We mentioned deep pressure therapy earlier, but you cannot just throw your human weighted blanket on a dog. Those things are 15 or 20 pounds. For a 20-pound dog, that is crushing weight. It can restrict their breathing. If you want to try weighted therapy, you must buy a product specifically calibrated for your dog's weight. Mistake number 3. Covering the head of brachycephalic breeds. If you own a pug, Frenchie, bulldog, or boxer, any flat-faced breed, be very careful about full body covering. These guys already have a harder time breathing than other dogs. Heavy blankets over their heads can limit airflow and increase the temperature of the air they are breathing, which puts stress on their respiratory system. For these breeds, try to keep the blanket from the neck down. At the end of the day, every dog is an individual. You might have a husky that loves to be tucked in, or a hairless dog that prefers to sleep naked on a cold floor. Biology gives us the guidelines, but your dog's personality writes the rules. The most important thing is that they have a safe space where they can fully relax, recharge, and dream about, well, whatever dogs dream about. Probably squirrels. Or cheese. Now, I want to hear from you. I want to know what kind of sleeper you have. Is your dog a burrito who disappears for hours, or are they a kicker who can't stand to be touched? Drop a comment below with your dog's breed and their weirdest sleeping habit. I read through as many as I can, and I love seeing how different our furry friends are. If you found this video helpful, or if it just gave you a good excuse to go cuddle your dog, go ahead and hit that like button. It really helps the channel grow so we can keep making content for pet parents like you. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, and give your pup a scratch behind the ears for me. See you in the next one.